The reasons why it's so easy to overeat. Being hangry, we're so famished, we scarf whatever is easy and within reach, which often is processed foods high in calories. Pleasure, we just love the taste, texture, and smells of well-prepared or favorite foods. Fatigue, our energy levels are low and caffeine doesn't cut it, so we reach for food, mostly sugary foods, hoping to get a second wind. Comfort, food can offer us emotional escape, safety, and nostalgia. Think family recipes, familiar, homey aromas that are calming, like cinnamon and oatmeal, mac and cheese, foods that make us happy and feel cared for. Also, cooking and baking are very soothing, nurturing, and meditative practices. Numbing. We want to freeze our emotions as a coping mechanism to deal with inner and or outer traumas. Numbing is common to all addictive behaviors, from drinking to smoking to gaming to binging on Netflix. Avoidance. You have bills to pay or taxes to do or other tasks that you identify as being unpleasant, intimidating, or time-consuming. Reaching out for a snack is easier and seems more emotionally satisfying than dealing with chores that are perceived as overwhelming or triggering. Routine or scheduling conflicts, eating because it's time to, or anticipating hunger. This is a typical work situation. You have your lunch break at noon. You might not be hungry, but you eat a full meal anyway. Or you're rushing from work to another activity and you just shove something in because you might not be able to eat when hunger strikes later. Parents can relate to this when rushing from one extracurricular activity to another. Dehydration. So often we reach for food when we're thirsty. It's really easy to confuse our hunger signal with our thirst signal, especially if we don't pay attention to them routinely. Complicating things more is that both hunger and thirst can present as feeling headachy, lightheaded, and nauseous. It's even possible to get hunger pangs in your stomach when you're thirsty. Research has shown that people drink when thirsty only 2% of the time. In 62% of cases, individuals confuse hunger and thirst cues every which way. Because it's there, we eat without thinking why. Sometimes it's boredom, sometimes it's restlessness, which is not anxiety. It's important to highlight this. Restlessness is about not knowing how to direct our energy. For example, we have a need to keep our hands or mouths busy, so we eat for sensory satisfaction. This happens often when smokers quit cigarettes and they have the compulsion to mimic the physical action of smoking. Impulse eating is also very common in those with ADHD for many reasons. Social eating. We all do this. We eat and drink as a courtesy to our host, to be part of a social contract, as a reward to ourselves, and sometimes because we're anxious in social situations. Guess what? We eat more in a group, but not in a crowd. If you're at a packed movie theater by yourself, you'll be eating as you normally do. But if you're with friends, you'll eat more, and the bigger the group of friends, the more you'll eat, partly because it's socially understood that a shared meal is a feast, giving us license to eat more. Winter. We instinctively think food will warm us up, and the food choice is carbs. Who hasn't joked about the winter five? The worst thing about overeating is that after indulging, which is a choice, we fill up with guilt and shame, throwing us into a terrible, vicious circle. We say to ourselves, I already failed once today, so I might as well go all out and start my diet over again tomorrow. Do you need more support in your health journey? Contact Paloma Life Wellness.